welcome to the NuSpecian Live. I am Jillian.
And I'm Aston. Good morning, morning, morning.
Thank you all for being here today. We look forward to seeing your greetings in the chat. You can start posting questions at any time. You can just say good morning, hello, whatever you'd like. Those of you who are new to us today, NuSpecies is a natural health company. Aston has invented and we manufacture our own unique line of plant-based supplements and herbal medicine. All of our formulas are designed to help your body be as resilient as possible against the toughest of health challenges. We also have developed over 18 years an integrative health consulting practice because many of you come to us have pre-existing health conditions. You are receiving medical treatment, but you also want to live a natural lifestyle and you've got to balance both worlds. And we have become very good at doing that, helping you along that journey. Now, having said that, what is a good health choice for one person may not be for someone else. And that's why we host this Q&A every Saturday at 10 a.m. in order to get you the answers to your questions that will help you along your own unique health journey. So thank you for being with us here today. And you are welcome. Our agenda is your agenda, what's on your mind. So no matter what we launch into or what we talk about, we always have a little something prepared to say. But you're welcome to just pop your questions in at any time and we'll pace out the answers throughout the show.
When you use the word unique health journey, and that is exactly the case. We could have 100 persons or clients come to us with high blood pressure, and they all have differences. Every single one have differences in terms of other issues, health issues, how they feel. And it's just amazing. In some cases, they're taking different medication, maybe not 100 different medication, but many of them are taking different, brand of medication because certain brands don't work for them. So when you say unique health journey, that is so profound when, on our end in terms of what we have to do to help you because each of you is different.
Right. And actually, I will say for those of you who are new to NuSpecies, and maybe those of you who have been working with us and you would never heard it put this way, but what we're constantly working toward ourselves and training our team on is to always be reconciling, like a checkbook, your needs, your expectations, and your budget. That's high level to say that your needs are what's objectively happening to you. What are your labs saying? What are you feeling? What are your doctors diagnosing you with? Your expectations are subjective. So this is how fast do you want results? How much do you actually think herbal medicine can do? Some people are just coming to us to help with side effects, which we'll talk about today. Some people are coming because they believe it's going to cure them. Those expectations significantly change how we are going to approach a unique program for you. And then lastly is your budget. What actually can you spend on a monthly basis consistently over a long period of time to give your body deep and lasting health benefits? And then we have to keep going back and forth until we figure out how to reconcile each of those things so that we come to a conclusion that you're comfortable with, that we feel comfortable, that we can provide real results for you and set your expectations properly for how long that might take or what it might cost. And that conversation, even if we talk to 5 people with high blood pressure, those 3 things, your needs, your expectations, and your budget, will change the conclusion we come to with all 5 of those people.
So when we sit down with you and we say we have options for you, that's what we're trying to address, your needs, expectation, your budget, because we want to make sure we have you and something that can make a difference. And that's why you come to us, is to make a difference. And a lot of you have been suffering for years, actually, many years with these different issues. And sometimes these issues have become so deeply ingrained into the tissue, into the organ, that it may take a little longer to fix it. So someone who has had blood pressure for 10 years, and then they come to us after taking medication for those 10 years, they come with a lot of damage, not just from the high blood pressure destroying organs, the blood vessels, the heart, the eyes, the brain. They're taking medication, and those medication also cause additional damage to tissue, cells, and organs. So we have to take all that into consideration when we sit down with you and say, these are the options we have for you based on expectations, budget, and as Julian said, your needs. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is really true because a lot of when we used to I used to be in the stores and I remember I would have a whole conversation with somebody and they would finally decide what they were going to purchase and as they were walking out the door they would turn around and be like, "We'll see if this works." And I'm like, "Duh,
Give
everything
it,
we
bring
just
it
talked
back,
about didn't come back here."
bring it back.
We clearly did not understand each other. Your body has to do the work. Our formulas are the tool. We just discussed what you should expect from this tool based
Hmm.
on what's happening with you, the damage that's happening in your body, the work you're asking your body to do, and then compared to the product that you just bought, which in this person's case, I clearly remember was like one big boy or something. There was no way that was going to be sufficient for him to see what he had originally come to us for. So I was confused as to why he's saying, let's see if this works. And I'm like, we just talked about you're just trying this out. So yeah, that's how we're constantly saving you from yourself when it comes to just setting the expectations so that you can get the most out of what NuSpecies offers.
A lot of people just don't, know. They actually don't know the we're just speaking high blood pressure. It could be any health
Yes.
issue. The damage that high blood pressure causes. And sometimes when you come to us, you've been to the doctors for years
Mhm.
and the doctors weren't able to help you. And that's why, we keep saying, I don't believe that we compete with the medical system
Mhm.
because when you come to us, it's because your medication didn't work or it's causing a lot of other health issues for you. Not everybody, but in a lot of cases. So we have to appreciate all this damage in your body using your lab reports or your imaging reports and
Mhm.
make a determination as to how we're going to help you. And fortunately, you know, we do help a lot of people.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um all right. Mary was just questioning whether or not my email went out, making sure that everybody who needs to be reminded about the show is aware.
Mhm.
Let me quickly say sorry for the technical delay here, folks. We can say hi to those in the chat. Yeah, it says it was sent.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good.
Good
All right.
to good to make sure.
Yeah, we'll say hi to Darnett and Maxine.
Mhm.
We see others are watching, so you can if you're watching while you're driving, don't follow this advice, but if you can always say good morning in the chat to us. And if you have anything on your mind, if you are thinking about what new species formulas you're taking, maybe you are thinking about are you taking them properly? Is there anything else you should add in? Maybe you're having a lower budget for this month because maybe you have to prioritize like some holiday gifts if they're not going to be the gift of health. um, we could help you get through the next month and a half or so with budget friendly options if you need. Maybe you are thinking of or you just got a new lab work and you have question about what's in the labs or you're thinking you need to change your products based on your results. Some people get great results and they're wondering, okay, when can I come off this rebuilding package? Others maybe things are getting worse for them and so they're coming back to new species after a long time and they don't know if they should just take what they were told last time. These are all great topics to come to the Q&A with.
I agree. And those of you who, you're getting some benefits, you're seeing changes in significant ways. And if some of you cut back on your own and what you're taking from new species, but I think you should talk with us before you do that so we can help to guide you as the best way to go forward. Yes, you're feeling better, things are getting better, your labs are looking better. And I've had that conversation with at least half a dozen people this week. They want to cut back because you're doing so well. And let us help you do that. Just don't go off and make these decisions on your own. We have a better way to get you in something supplemental or support, than maybe you will.
Mm.
Although a lot of you, new species quite well.
Yes. Well, you'd be surprised though, people who know new species really well and got great results. And then they think of it like medicine. So they're better now, so they stop taking it, even though that's not how you should use our formulas. And then like years later, they have another sickness and they completely forget that new species exists.
Well, I had that yesterday. I had a couple. Oh boy, should I tell the story, or
Yeah.
should we get
Yeah.
into
No, tell the
housekeeping and
story.
all of
No,
that?
we're still
So we have this couple in the Bronx, and they had not used new species for 9 years because the issues they had had gone away. You know, they had a lot of pain, a lot of issues, blood pressure issues, and all those issues went away. And now they developed, one of them, had a stroke. Of course, I'm not going to give you the names. Had a stroke. He had developed diabetes over the years, and he's taken a lot of insulin because the diabetes is really bad. So he had a stroke, can barely walk, has to use a walker, has damage in his arms and legs, and then the wife, she has chronic arthritis. She needs, maybe she's listening. And I ask her to join. I asked both of them to join today. So they're probably on the show right now. And she had arthritis in her hip and her joint, and she need knee replacement and she need hip replacement. And she heard somebody on the radio talking, and she said, "Okay, let's call these people on the radio and see, if they can help us." And then the husband in his bed, lying there, saying, "I think you should call New Species again." She said, "What? New Species?" So they totally had forgotten New Species for over 9 years
Mhm.
and going through all this suffering. And then they were so happy to speak with us yesterday. The lady said, "Thank God I found you guys and I remember you guys again."
Mhm. Yeah,
I
that's
thought it was just a great story of someone who we helped
yeah.
with chronic issues 9 years ago, developed new issues, and they had totally forgotten that new species existed.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of you hear in the news just the difficulty for small businesses always, like they'll say most small businesses will go out of business within 5 years, and it's really difficult for small businesses in different economic conditions. And so me and Asen used to always say to each other, like, we just need to stay in business long enough for all the people who liked our product the first time they tried it to go try other things, realize our products were better, and then come back.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um,
Yeah.
but um, but we have a discount, right?
Yes.
Today,
Yes. So
and
15% off of everything. You can use the code holiday15 when you check out. The reminders are all over the website. So hopefully you won't have a hard time uh, redeeming it. If you are on our app, the discount's always there. Whenever there is one, you'll see it right on the homepage. It'll say this week's discount. And then if you are getting our text messages or our emails, you'll always be reminded there as well. With our email list, I do want to say I have to cut down on how many emails I send during discount periods just because people who already got it, opened it, and bought, they don't open it the next few times I send. And when people don't open our emails, it tells the internet service providers that we're spam because we're sending our emails to so many people who aren't opening them. And it can then, if you don't open our email a few times in a row, our marketing service will think, well, this person's not engaged, they're annoying them, and it will stop sending you our emails. Or eventually your Gmail or Yahoo will put us in your spam or will put us in your promotions tab. And then you don't see our emails when you want to see them. So the one thing I can say is if you really do hope to get our emails, please just open them every time we send. You don't, even if you're not interested in reading whatever I spent hours writing for you, just open it so that you're telling our service you do want to receive our emails. If we end up in your spam or your promotions folder, just drag and drop us back to the primary inbox. So you're telling Gmail, you're telling Yahoo that you want to receive our emails in your primary inbox. Otherwise, we will be sending most of the notifications through text because most people just are better with text messages than email, at least in our client base. So
Mhm.
if you want to get more consistent reminders about discounts, please be on our text list. Otherwise, emails will most likely be once a week, max twice a week when there's something maybe special going on.
Right. And just to remind a lot of you, we're not on WhatsApp. And excuse me, a lot of you communicate with us via WhatsApp. We're not on WhatsApp, not as yet. We are working on it. Hopefully, we can have it worked out by early next year. But
Mhm.
we're not on WhatsApp. A lot of people try to find us on WhatsApp, and they would send us lab reports and messages and phone calls.
Mhm.
Yes, personally, I am on WhatsApp, but I'm not always checking it. So
Right.
if you or you have relatives reaching out to me, they have to reach out to me directly because I am not monitoring WhatsApp. I actually have it primarily for family
Right.
because they're all over the world and I'm not willing to pay that phone bill.
Right. We do see in both our marketing system and our phone system the option to include WhatsApp, but we don't fully understand yet how it functions. So we're working on that because that would be great if that's where you exist. Then you could talk to New Species there too. But we'll announce that again through our email or a text. So you'll find out when we do that. No problem.
And a final note on WhatsApp before we move on: do not send me lab
Mm,
reports or confidential, private information on WhatsApp. Do not do that.
right.
I know that some of you said it's safe and you may have notification that it's safe, but we would prefer that you don't do that. If it's not safe in accordance with the laws of New York and the federal government in terms of medical report. So please do not send your labs via WhatsApp to us.
Mhm. Yes. All right. Ooh, great question from June. So June says, I've been taking L-one 1 teaspoon for a few years. Tuesday, I started 1 ounce as per Aston. I've
Mhm.
been experiencing nasal allergy symptoms, sneezing, watering eyes, and postnasal drip. Is this a coincidence? So this is great. So this could be a coincidence. It is that time of year, but uh, this is also very normal for detoxification. So when your body starts purging toxins, it's going to release them from every hole that it can: your pores, your nose, your ears, your mouth,
Everywhere.
other holes, everywhere. So, yeah, this could easily be symptoms of detoxification. Absolutely. Now, if you start to feel worse or you get a fever or anything like that, don't ignore it because you might actually have some sort of virus or bacterial infections, which could be a coincidence.
Yes, and we have known June for from the beginning of time,
Mhm.
the invention of LNU1, that it does perform certain types of purification at some level. So we have always heard this from clients
Mhm.
over the years that they always ask us, "Is LNU1 a cleanser?"
Mhm.
Because they would find their bodies getting purged in ways that they didn't anticipate. We have it as a rebuilder for the whole body, but a lot of people, they experience a lot of other benefits
Right.
from taking it.
This is why we love, I mean, it's harder to market products when they're a whole food product, because people are used to being marketed supplements as this supplement is for this one thing.
Mhm.
But when you use whole foods as your ingredients, and especially when they're raw, like in our products, all of those heat sensitive components of those plants are active now. So you're going to see so many more benefits from the plants than you would when you use a more highly processed supplement. And what's really cool is that you might be taking our formula for one reason, but your body doesn't care what you think. Your body's going to see access to these nutrients and say, oh, great, I've been meaning to take care of this. And it's going to go to work however it sees fit. So people will almost always say they
Mm.
see far more benefits from our formulas than they came to us for. And at first, spending more on our products can be frustrating because you like, can I just spend less and work on only the one thing I want? Yeah, I guess you could, not necessarily with us unless you just buy our individual herbs, but that's really not how the body works. You're deciding what you think is most important and what your body should work on, but actually the only entity in this on this planet Earth that knows what you need is your body. And you want to let your body decide and do what it can do. And so when we use these whole food ingredients, and the way Aston designed our formulas is to have a lot of ingredients layered that have some redundancies to give you really great potency, or all of us, not just you. And you'll see your body go to work in ways that you didn't even think were going to happen.
Right. I spoke with a client last week, and she had psoriasis and other type of acne issues with her skin. And we had told her to use the L-One to as like a lotion on her skin where she has those rash. So I spoke with her last week, and the rash were largely gone.
Oh, amazing.
The psoriasis were largely gone, and she was like, "What do you have in this?"
Mm.
Because my sister told me that it's a rebuilder for the body. Is it rebuilding my skin? So what you all don't know, and give you a little tidbit, when I decided to create or invent the Almu One, I used to go to a health food store over in Mayopac, up here in New York. It was a health food store, and they would have all the vitamins in there. They would have like 3 shelves of vitamins from floor to the ceiling.
Mhm.
And what I did was I look at all those vitamins and minerals and all the supplements they sell. They sell like glutamate. They had glutathione in bottles. They have all these different minerals in bottles. And what I decided was I wanted to have one formula that has all of those things in the shelves. So that's how that's part of the creation of LU1
Mhm.
was to be able to give you something to rebuild your whole body, literally. So the plants we have in there, the vitamins, the vitamin C, all those ingredients, the idea was to get, that one formula that when you go to a health food store, you look at the shelf, there's nothing on the shelves that you actually need. And I believe that we have accomplished that.
Oh, yeah. The proof is in the pudding, as we used to say. But I would always explain it as the toolbox. So if you're going to try to build something, would you just get a hammer? What are you gonna build with that? You're only gonna break stuff with that. You need a hammer and a nail. You might need a screwdriver and screws. You're
Mhm.
gonna need some wood, maybe some glue, maybe some, you know, paper. I don't know. There's so many things that are involved in building something, and it's the same thing with your body. I mean, our bodies are far more complex than any construction that one would ever do. So why would you then say, "Well, I want to help my body and I'm going to just buy this one mineral or this one enzyme or one vitamin?" How does that make any sense? And in similar in how if you were to try to build something and only get a hammer, you're just going to break things apart, right? It's the same thing when you isolate chemicals or enzymes or um, antioxidants, or you isolate vitamins and minerals, or you just straight up make them in a lab and then just put them in higher doses into your body. You could be destroying things instead of helping things.
Mhm.
So it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense from a marketing perspective, and companies get it. If they can make something really simple for you to understand and make it really cheap, you're gonna buy it, and then you have to buy 50 of those bottles to get, I mean, you're basically making it up, right, to get what you think you need. Do you ever wonder when you're buying these things if like, do you know if that's what you need? Did you look at your labs before you bought those things? Did you study the bottles? Did you determine that those are the doses that you need? I mean, if you think about it, most people, when they're taking supplements, they are literally just making it up. Or their doctor told them they're low on this one thing, and so now they're just buying that one nutrient and putting it in them and saying, "Okay, great, all done." It's just not how the body works, and you
No.
wouldn't build anything else in life like that. So why would you think you're going to build up your body like that?
And to underscore it for you, using science, chemistry and physics. Look in the mirror, folks. Science does not know, all of science does not know, not even 1% of all the things that are happening in our bodies. Science does not know, just looking at Earth, looking at nature, looking at Earth. Science doesn't know, not even 1% of everything that's happening in Earth with plants, with all the life forms, with everything not even a percent.
Hmm.
All of science, the greatest physicists, the greatest chemists, it doesn't matter how many Nobel Prizes they have won, put them all together, they do not know not even 1%.
Mm,
And that is one of the foundational bases again of new species. That's why we do whole food, because we can never know everything that's wrong in your body. When you get your lab report, and you look at your lab report, you're thinking, I know you're thinking that the lab report is measuring everything in your body. Not even a percent of the things that are happening in your body is being measured by any lab report,
mm,
any scan, any image, not even a percent. So the doctors, that's how much their hands are tied. So when we blame doctors for not knowing something or not catching something, we're actually doing a great disservice to the medical system because maybe they could never have known.
yeah.
That is how complex our bodies are.
Mhm. Right. And that's how complex nature is and plants are. So it's another reason why, like Austin was saying, we stick with whole foods because we're telling you the benefits we think you're going to get from these plants based on only what science knows about these plants.
Right.
There's probably so much more in there that makes them effective that science has not even understood yet. So, why would we start reverse engineering nature by picking out what we think are active ingredients or the most effective part of the plant
Right.
and isolating it and putting it in our bodies when the plant was already that perfect delivery system for many reasons we don't even understand? So, maybe there are therapeutic purposes why we might isolate a nutrient or take it in higher doses, but to me, those are last resorts after you've covered all the foundational
Right.
needs of your body and
Right.
found you've you've covered all of those basics, then you maybe spot treat with some sort of specialty things, including like medication. I would consider, like, once you use nutrition in that way, like a high dose or a isolated vitamin or mineral or antioxidant or something, to me that's like using nutrition like a medication. It's really not natural anymore, because that's not naturally how those ingredients exist in nature, right? So that, to me, although it comes from something natural, it's really not the natural way to use it.
Right.
So it's more like a medicine at that point. So that would fall in line with drugs. The same thing. You don't want to start off with the drug
Hmm.
unless it's an emergency, or life threatening situation. But
Absolutely.
like your first go to wouldn't be like, well, I don't want to get high blood pressure, so I'm going to take high blood pressure medication. That doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
You want to keep your body healthy,
Yeah.
right? So then you add in the medication when it's really necessary, until you figure out what's wrong and you get your act together.
When I was doing the research to create new species, LNU1, what amazed me the most was the ingredients. Let's take alfalfa as one of the ingredients in the LNU1. It's also in our B vitamins. What amazed me about all the ingredients, plants, herbs, whatever, was the vast number of chemicals or minerals that science has no name for. You don't even know about them. They're
Mm,
in the fruits, they're in the plant, and there are no names for them because they have not been named. They're chemicals that have not been named, whether they're vitamins or minerals, their amino acids, their phytochemicals, phytonutrients have no name. And that's the name they use, phytonutrients or phytochemicals, because they have no name,
mhm,
but they're in plants. What we do know is that if you have a banana with you, you look at that banana and we share about 15 to 22% of our genes with banana. Banana is our relative. Foods are our relatives. All living things on the earth, about 8 million different living species, 5 to 8 million different species on the earth. We are all related to them and they relate to us. We came from the same foundational genetics or DNA. So we know that. But to start sorting all of that out for plants or herbs or foods, science does not know. And that's why we make new species whole foods so that your body can be getting everything it needs, and it's going to get things that we don't even know. I use the new one as a lotion, especially on my face, because when I shave, I used to get boils. I used to get these huge boils, these huge lumps. And since I started using a new one on my face as a lotion, I don't get them anymore.
mhm,
I used to have holes in my face, deep gorge from those boils I had from shaving. And over time, those holes in my skin, they fill out, they
mhm,
grow back. I used to have fillings in my teeth, and most of them have fallen out. And the dentist would say to me, there's no need to fill them because the enamel has regrown. Do I know what new species is doing to fix that? I have no idea. All I can tell you is that it's a whole food and it's rebuilding the body. It's rebuilding things in the body that science does not know, that dentists does not know, that skin doctors do not know.
mhm. And it's amazing to see what your body can do. And we just hope New Species is we've created one of the best tools you can give your body to do the work that it wants to do. And it's always exciting to find out, what is my body capable of?
And all of you out there, like probably June, are getting feedback, seeing, benefits from new species that you didn't tell us about, that we don't, we didn't give you new species for those particular issues you have. Tell us about them. We would love to know the extent to which new species in general,
Mhm,
whether it's the new, the detox, whatever the God formulas, how they're helping you. We would like
mhm,
to know that because you're sitting there and you're thinking, we know everything. Guess what? We don't. And you have been the most potent force for new species from day one in taking new species and telling us the benefits you get so that we can go out and help more of God's people.
mhm,
You have been an extremely potent force
mhm.
in new species, and you still are.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even when even when things haven't gone the way you hope they would go, when you inform us, it helps us refine how we use the formulas.
That's true.
So, yeah, you help us learn in so many ways. I was gonna say, it's amazing how your body wants to fix itself even when you would think it's not possible. I have a family member who's very ill right now, but decided to reject further medical treatment and just went like really, really, really powerfully on, juicing and exercise and cleansing and enemas and everything that she could think, including her supplements, including NuSpecies. But she did a lot of all kinds of things to just her diet and everything.
Hmm.
It was amazing. But she's gravely ill, and we were so surprised to see how her skin just cleared up and looked so beautiful. Like, she used to have this huge brown sunspot on her cheek that is gone now. And you would think someone who's that sick, like, their body is not can't do anything like that, but it's like your body is still trying to fight and survive even when you think that it can't. So, you shouldn't give up. Don't underestimate the power of what your body can do when you give it what it needs and you stay out of its way by stop putting in it what it doesn't want.
Hmm.
It's just amazing, the stories and the experiences we've had.
That's true. When I walk into the room and I saw her, I'm not sure you were there. I yelled out. I couldn't believe how clean
Mhm.
her skin was.
Mhm.
She is white, but she looks so much whiter. And I said
Not
to
like
her,
pale, but
I said to her,
just
where
clear.
were you? You were in Florida, where it's warm. The temperature is what, 90, 95 degrees, and you look this way. It was amazing. It's amazing what nutrition can do.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Yeah, we're just letting your body
Do
take
what
care of
it
itself.
do what it yes, do
Mhm.
what it does. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into our topic today. About unless you have questions, go right ahead and ask them. We'll just pause to answer them. But we wanted to talk today about medication side effects.
Oh boy.
There's so much to say here because, as I mentioned in the introduction, most people who come to us are usually dealing with a pre-existing medical issue. Most are already on medications, and everyone who comes to us is hoping to build up a natural lifestyle and even do some natural healing with herbs. And we're used to dealing with the complexities of doing both because they might seem like they contradict, or they might seem like, well, it should be one instead of the other. And actually, things can work together much better than you think. And there's a whole range of experiences we have with this. But first and foremost, just if you want to lay the groundwork for what we mean by side effects of medication for anyone who may not know.
I don't even know where to begin to
We'll
talk about that.
pretend people have no idea what you're talking about and start
Well,
there.
let's say it this way.
Any drug commercial you've seen.
I I have been talking to Mary. Mary's been doing a lot of, the consultations and recommendations, consultations with all of you about the products, and Ashley as well, and Crystal. And what I found myself doing the last 6 months to a year is some level of counseling
Mhm.
with our our team about what they're witnessing, because we're seeing people who we believe the medication has made them worse. And I personally know of clients who, I don't want to speak for the team, that I strongly believe that the medication caused their death. But it's not fault of the doctors. It's not fault of the medical system, because other people are using the same medication and they're not dying. They get results. But there are people out there who the medication, and I can speak frankly about this because I've been doing this for over 20 years and I've seen it. I have it written down in probably thousands. How many pages would we say we have in our input health? Thousands of pages, Mary, or tens of thousands of pages.
Tens of thousands.
And so we know that there are people out there, you're getting the headaches, you're getting the dizziness, you're getting the weakness, you're getting the fatigue. Um, and some of you even believe that NuSpecies who would do that. But when we look at the side effects of the medication you're taking, we see that, I have this one guy last week who was taking 4 different medication, and each medication is causing weakness, dizziness, headaches, each one of the 4. And so we see it. We see it. What was the question?
Well, I was just saying a baseline explanation of what medication side effects are. You brought up another point that we should get back to as far as when people may confuse side effects of their medication with what might be happening to them because of taking new species formulas, because that can get more complicated, right? When you already have pre-existing conditions, you're on medications, telling the difference between what's new species and what's your condition.
So we can get
That's like
back.
a whole separate point.
Yeah, it is. But let's talk about, the side effects of medication. So
Like, how does it happen? Why does that even happen?
because it's a chemical, it's a compound. And you said it earlier, when we give our bodies, what I would like to do is just give examples of clients. I'm not going to call their name. There is a gentleman who we're working with now. He lives in Brooklyn, and he's a mechanic. And he's been exposed to these chemicals as a mechanic for the last 20 years. And now those chemicals that cause damage, cause high blood pressure, damage his blood vessels. It's the chemicals damaging his lung. He has a lot of lung nodules. And his doctors have told him that is because you've been exposed to chemicals. So we're not saying that it's those specific mechanical work he's doing that, with the chemicals that causing it, but some chemicals, wherever he gets it. We haven't tested him to see whether it was what he's using in his garage or chemicals exposed to at home or bleach. I've had clients over the years who get exposed to bleach and it causes cancer. That's what the doctors tell them. So when we are exposed to chemicals, compounds, they're not biological. A biological chemical is called a mineral, which that's the difference. Is biological is called a mineral. If you want to take it to another level, a chemical like an element that's on the periodic table of chemicals is called an element, meaning that it was made by the sun. That's why it's called an element. But then when that element is in our bodies from the sun, or it's in the plant or in foods, it's now no longer an element or a chemical, it's a biochemical. So if you're taking medication that's made in the labs, it's not a biochemical, it's not made with biochemistry, it's just hard compound. It will have side effects on our bodies. Even those of you who may not get the headaches or the dizziness, I have seen over the years where it caused other issues because some people's bodies compensate extremely well when it comes to whatever chemicals, pain. I know that I can tolerate pain really well. It's just the way my body is made up to be able to do that. But medication, quite often, not all medication, but a large number of medications are made from pure chemicals. Some do have some biochemicals in them, but the side effects are your biochemistry is now mixing with these chemicals, the medication, and then you get the headaches, you get the dizziness. If you're getting headaches, you're getting dizziness, you're getting fatigue, you're getting tiredness. It means that your body is becoming inflamed. You have a lot of inflammation. You're having less oxygen. And that's why you feel the dizziness sometimes. You're not getting good blood circulation anymore. But the medication, we want to say, is necessary. You should not stop taking it. You should go see your doctors and let the doctors know what the side effects are. Unfortunately, there are medication for the side effects of medication, and you may need to do that because a lot of people who are taking medication, you need to be on it. If you come off it, you may die more quickly. It's just a reality. So medication is very merciful. You should take it. What we can say to people, to you all, is that we can provide you some basic formulas to support your body, basic antioxidants to support your body, which would be our B vitamins or a mineral complex or vitamin D at that basic level, even the detox, that will assist your body to minimize the side effects of the medication you're taking.
Mm.
It will not eliminate the side effects, but it will minimize it by getting your body to be built up, getting your immune system to be built up, getting your body to make those, our formulas have the cofactors that work with the genes to produce certain cleansing enzymes to purge your body of any excesses, or at least to help your body purge of any excesses. That's how we can help you. But if you're taking medication, what I want to leave with you is that you should stay on your medication, but you should communicate with the doctors. A lot of you the gentleman who had the stroke, he stopped taking his medication. And that's part of the reason why he had that stroke. And it almost killed him. So you should talk with the doctors if you're having side effects from the medication. Just don't stop taking the medication. Talk to your doctors.
So just to back up, when you are targeting, so the body is connected, right? Even though you can go to 15 different specialists for every different organ or body system, it doesn't mean that they are separate. They all work together. Our body is one organism. And so when you take a medication that's designed to affect one enzyme or one protein or one
Hormone.
function or
Mhm.
one hormone, you're going to expect that there's going to be a ripple effect in your body. So the doctors take the oath to do no harm. And so they're always balancing whether the potential harm of the treatment is less than the harm of no treatment. So when you get to a point where you have to make a choice about taking a medication or doing a surgery or something, you it's not necessarily you may not have a good choice, but you have to make one. And so you want to be, first of all, well informed of what the doctor is thinking. They may know it as a foregone conclusion because they deal with thousands of patients, but you may not, and you may want to be informed. You may
Mhm.
choose to reject that option. What they may think is an important trade off, you may not. So it's your body, it's your health issue, and you may have your own spiritual beliefs or your own mindset about how you want to live out your life and what you want to do. And so the doctor can't account for all those things. So yes, you should be finding out very clearly what pros and cons is the doctor weighing before they recommend a medication. And then you can decide if that's something you want to move forward with. And maybe you will on an experimental level and say, okay, I'm going to see if any of these side effects happen to me. And then most importantly, what we'll always say is you shouldn't depend on the medication. It is not fixing your problem. It is mitigating the symptoms. It is buying you time, or it's merciful in the sense that it's helping you feel better than you should. It does not mean the problem is gone. I have a family member who has AFib, and every time there is a new bout of AFib, he'll keep saying, "Oh, it somehow came back. I have no idea." And then he'll be in the hospital for a day, and they'll do all the stuff, and they'll tweak the medication, and then he'll say, "Great, it's gone now." And I'm like, "It is not gone. You have a problem. You have a heart problem that is not being corrected. It is just medication forcing it into what is a seemingly functional status, even though you're not better." And I can't get this through his head. And every time it happens again, he's just like, "I don't have any idea how this is happening." Like, because it was never gone. If you're on like, we'll talk to a lot of clients who will say, "Oh, my blood pressure's good, my cholesterol's good," and I'll have to double check with medication. And they'll say, "Yeah, yeah, so it's good." And I'm like, "No, no, no. It's still there. The problem is still there. Your body's inability to regulate its own cholesterol or its own blood pressure or its own blood sugar, that problem is still there. The medication is just masking it." And, you know, thank goodness we have these options, but they are not to be depended on. You should actively have a plan with NuSpecies or whoever your partner in natural health is to correct your diet and your lifestyle, to get some really powerful, high quality supplements into your system to help strengthen your body so that eventually you can come off that medication. before it starts causing more harm than good.
A lot of people who come to us with diabetes and high blood pressure, they would tell us that those issues, health issues, were under control, but yet they fell into having strokes, having heart attacks, having kidney failure, having all these different issues when their diabetes was controlled or the blood pressure was controlled or the high cholesterol was controlled. So yes, the numbers are being kept down. Let's take diabetes, for example. You're taking metformin or you're taking insulin or any other medication. Yes, those medication are helping to alleviate the glucose in the bloodstream. So yes, the glucose stay low. It's no longer 200 or 400 or 500. And maybe it's no longer even 150. Maybe it's 130, it's 110, it's 80. It's even low in some cases, most times. So because the blood sugar is a lot lower, the A1C naturally goes lower as well. So if it was 12, it goes down to even 6. So with A1C at 6, you can still get kidney failure. You can still get heart disease. You can still get eye disease. You can still have damaged blood vessels leading to neuropathy and all these other issues. You can still, because you still have diabetes, notwithstanding that your blood glucose is low, your A1C is low, the diabetes is still there causing damage. And that's what happens to a lot of people who can't imagine that their blood sugar was so low, their blood pressure was so low, and they still end up having these destructive diseases. So we just want to let you know that yes, you're taking the medication, you still have to rebuild your body. You have to support your body, get your body to fix itself. Our bodies are very resilient. It's so resilient that it can't even be measured by science. And you have to believe that your body can do it. If you believe that your body can do it, you will fight. And I can tell you this, folks, the clients who I've had over the years who fight for their health, whether they had cancer or not, they fear the best. They fare the best. They live the best. They live the longest. And let me tell you, these clients, I am ashamed to say to them that, give me a testimonial because they work so hard, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and
They pulled out all the stops.
and most people don't.
Yes.
90% of people don't work that hard. They
Mhm.
take a sip of NuSpecies here or there and they start feeling better and they stop.
Mm.
These diehards, I cannot and I do not ask them for testimonials. I don't, because they work too hard. And if they were to tell a lot of people how hard they work, like they would tell me, they tell their relatives, their diet, exercise, consistency with NuSpecies, how do you ask that person for a testimonial? It's unreal.
Hey, maybe we motivated them. Maybe we gave them the support they needed to feel confident about what they needed to do.
I know, but the next
Our
person
help
who
goes
is
beyond just the
the
products.
next person who is not going to do that,
Well, yeah.
you're going to say, okay,
But the next person might not need to do that.
this
Because
gentleman,
everyone's different.
he had diabetes and his A1C is now 5. It's not just normal, it's way below normal. And you see what they did: diet, lifestyle, all these things, NuSpecies, they do all these things. The person you say that to going to believe that they can just do nothing and get to that point. And no, the body doesn't work that way.
Well, and that's why, as much as we want referrals, we'd like them to speak with us because what you did to get help may not be what they need to do to get help. And that's where we reassess needs, expectations, and
Right.
budget with every individual client. If they get started on their own and they don't think they're seeing the results they want to see, then we hope they will call us and talk to us so we can figure out what to adjust for them.
Right. So
Mhm.
to add a little bit more to the side effect, a side effect could be kidney failure, it can be heart failure, it can be brain damage, it can be blood vessel damage, it could be neuropathy, it could be a whole lot of other health issues or diseases that develop because of the side effects of the medication. So it's not just, I have a headache, I am dizzy, I'm fatigued. If you have those issues, it means that your body is breaking down. It means that you're not getting adequate blood circulation. It means that um, your body is not getting adequate oxygen, which is the number one food for life. So if you're having dizziness and you're having headaches, you're having weaknesses, fatigue, you should not ignore them. You should
Mm,
tell your doctor.
right.
Or if you want us to help you support your body, we can help you to do that. But
Right.
there can be side effects that lead to even death.
Yeah. Sometimes, like we were saying earlier, there are different brands of the same medication, or there are other medications that if you tell your doctor what your side effects are, they could choose to make a change. Sometimes doctors can lower your dose safely while still getting the results that you need, but they just put you on the higher dose because that's the recommended way to start every patient. But you could be on a lower dose and mitigate symptoms and still get results. So always communicate with your doctor. All doctors have, a practice in the sense that they have to learn from each patient to get better, and you can help them learn just like you help us learn. And when you are supporting your body every other way, you're not just leaving it up to the medication and crossing your fingers. You are eating well and exercising and drinking water and managing stress and
Mhm.
fostering healthy relationships and connections in your community and taking your new species formulas. You will see significant improvements in your health that will lead you to be able to come off medication eventually, assuming you have a chronic condition that is lifestyle induced, or you can come off medication. It's a different situation when someone has to take medication because they have a genetic condition or some sort of lifelong problem that has to
Sickle
be.
cell, autoimmunity.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it could be a number of things, type 1 diabetes or other genetic issues.
Mhm.
So for those folks, even more so, if they have to be on a medication their whole life, they're going to want to keep their body in tip top shape to help offset
Mhm.
any of the negative side effects that a lifelong use of medication can create. And then that's a whole different, like I said, set of needs, expectation, and budget when someone comes to us. These are all important things we need to know and that we will ask you to figure out what's the best way for new species to support you.
If you have a health issue and you have it for more than 6 months or a year, you have a big problem. You have a huge, huge problem because the longer you have it is, in the end, it's the more medication you're gonna need to take eventually because for a lot of people, that issue become something really bad. And I can tell you from, working with so many tens of thousands of people, that a issue can get to a point where the body may not be able to cure it. And our bodies are the best cure. There are no better cures than our bodies curing itself. So if you have issues and you're taking medication, the medication is not working, you're taking the medication, you still have the issue, you have to do something else.
Mhm.
You must do something else.
Yep. We could talk about this a lot, and we actually this morning were discussing some points to make, and we didn't even get to those about
Let's get to the
men with
points.
like prostate issues and stuff. But I want to answer Winston's question, and then
Mhm.
we are wrapping up. So, just for those of you who joined later in the show, a reminder: this weekend is 15% off of everything. The code is holiday15. It is up on the website. It's in our texts and emails, and it is on the New Species app if you forget it. But you can get 15% off of everything. And it's our, last discount for the year to just celebrate the end of the year with you and make it easier for you to get your gifts of health for family and friends. So if you
Mhm.
plan on flying out next week to get to your family, please bring them the gift of health, a 3-month supply of raw, liquid, organic multivitamins is going to only be about $46. So that's a really, really great deal as far as the quality of what you're getting and the impact of what you'll see from taking raw multivitamins if you never have before. And I think your family, it's like our best tasting product. So I think that it's a great introduction to our formulas, and your family members should be pretty sold after that. So if you're hoping to get someone turned on a new species, I recommend using your 15% off to buy them the B vitamins complex with vitamin C. The name is changing to multivitamins, so you'll hear me call it that interchangeably. For so discount. Yes. Before you go today, if you don't mind subscribing to the YouTube channel, and if you need to go to the homepage of the website to join our rewards program, to sign up for our email and text list, please do that so that we can reach you. Mary's putting the link in there for you. But so Winston, you didn't reply back from with my follow-up question, so we'll just do the best we can. Winston is saying he's presently taking a vitamin D3 and K2, and he's combining that with our vitamin D and A. Could you elaborate a little on the benefits from that? So I don't know if there's any benefit from taking both. You may not need to. What I would say is our vitamin DNA is a whole food source. So it's coming from a raw, wild caught Norwegian cod liver oil, which means that it naturally has vitamin A with it. It naturally has your omegas and any health benefits you can get from cod liver oil, you're going to get. We market it as a vitamin DNA, but you're getting more benefits than just that. Some people still prefer to take like a synthetic vitamin D just to see those numbers shoot up really high, really fast, and make their doctors happy. But whenever possible, we prefer a whole food source. Vitamin K is really should be created by the healthy bacteria in your gut, similar to B12. That's produced by bacteria. So I don't think there's any great scenario for supplementing with K. I know that's a trend where scientists reverse engineer how our bodies take in nutrition, and then they have to put things back in to say, well, if you're going to take vitamin D by itself, it's only going to process if you also have vitamin A, and it's only going to process if you also have vitamin K. And I mean, if you follow that rabbit hole, you're going to put together back a whole food that you should have just eaten. So that can go on and on. It's up to each individual how they want to supplement if they're going to use individual vitamins. So we can't really speak to the D3 K2 combination you're taking and whether it has any benefits at all. I don't know that you even need both. So I think your labs would tell you where your vitamin D is at, and that's the best way to know where you stand. And again, really healthy bacteria in your gut should be producing vitamin K. So we don't really get into the supplementation of K at all. If you have any follow-up to that, you can let us know while we wrap up today. Is that anything you want to add there?
No, that was it. What I will say above that is that we do not research other companies' products. We don't try to determine what other companies have in their products. We don't know what else they have in their products, and there's absolutely no way to know beyond, the label, assuming what's on the label is accurate. So based on those and other criteria, we cannot speak about any other company's product because we don't know. And I've been asked to research other companies' products, and I've told my clients that I can't do that. I can go on the website and see what they say, and I'm just going to say what you see on the bottles, on the labels. But we don't speak about other companies' products because truly we don't know.
Yeah. And we've learned from the FDA, from the folks who come to our facility and regulate us, that many companies put stuff on the labels that aren't true. And you've seen over the years, like really huge busts of like, I don't know if it was Walgreens or other companies where what was disclaimed on the label was not even in the product. And especially over the years with all the dangerous men's health, men's performance products and weight loss products, where it was supposedly an herb and it was actually Viagra in the product. It was supposed to be an herb and it was actually some dangerous chemical for weight loss. So the FDA has been cracking down on a lot of this over the years, but it is pretty pervasive. So we know the measures we take to ensure that what is on our label is true to what's in the bottle. But we also know how easy it is for companies to not do that. So we really couldn't speak to the safety or effectiveness of any other product. And that's really your experience. Only you can know. But yeah, when it comes to taking individual vitamins, unless you have a specific deficiency, I wouldn't do that at all. I would just eat healthy food.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. So don't forget your discount. Trevor's updating you. His friend in Jamaica ended up passing away from the prostate cancer. Oh gosh, Trevor.
Sorry to hear that.
We're really sorry to hear that. I know you were trying so hard to help him. That really sucks. We know how that feels.
Yeah. And Trevor, I know what you've been trying to get him to do, to get help. Um, I have a lot of family members. Most of my family don't take new species because they can't appreciate it. And I think we're all of us are in the same boat. We're trying to beat up our relatives because we want to see them healthy. And some people only want to take it when the doctors have failed. I'm not going to say the doctors failed. I take that back. The doctors have not failed. The medication did not work. And some people wait until the very end to do something else. And when they get to that point, it's too late. And I have it in my family. And I hope they're all watching and they understand how I feel about how reckless and careless they are.
And maybe he'll take that back too, because we know how hard it is for people to make lifestyle changes. And we know how hard it is to help them, especially fight against the constant misinformation about nutrition, the onslaught of supplement companies coming out with all sorts of things, just confusing everyone and misrepresenting how the body works and how supplements can help the body. And, we know we're fighting an uphill battle. And that's why we
Mhm.
we do this Q&A and we talk with all of you, just one person at a time, and try to help you understand why our formulas are weird, but they're the right way to support your body. And do they cost more? Sure, because the real question is not why are our products costing more, but why is everything else so cheap? It shouldn't be if it's going to actually
Work.
support your body. Yeah.
Mhm. But I won't take back what I said about my
He won't.
family.
They're reckless.
I will not take it back, and
Okay.
I will never take it back because
Actually, you've worked really hard. You've
every
talked a lot.
everything I've said about my father suffering with prostate cancer and dying with prostate cancer spread into his lung, his liver, his bone, his brain is true.
Yeah.
And they saw it. Everything I said about my mother is true. She had diabetes and both her legs were amputated at Montefiore Hospital down there in the Bronx before New Species existed. And they saw her suffering. We saw her suffering. So that's why I can speak so frankly about my relatives. And the way I speak is because of love. I don't want it. I don't want to suffer that way, and I don't want to see them. So I don't want anyone to suffer that way.
Yeah. And before even I was working with you on New Species, Aston would send out emails. They looked a little like ransom notes, but he's very big on all caps sometimes. But yeah, they were like
I still do.
red and bold and all caps, and he'd explain apoptosis and how the body works and how disease forms. And
I'm begging them,
Aston is
caps.
so
I'm begging them to take
we're
action.
talking
Begging,
at
begging,
least
begging
20
them.
years ago. Aston has been sending emails, family group Zoom
How
calls,
many how
family
many
WhatsApp
calls
calls.
I have with
Yeah.
my
Yes.
family
Yes, that's
on a
true.
Sunday evening?
That's true.
Is it 10 minutes?
No,
How long is it?
they take up all of our Sunday evenings.
Okay. How
They're
many
hours, hours. I know.
exactly.
Aston has tried actually really,
Exactly.
really, really, really hard and has over and over again, every time a family member has a new scare with their health, he starts all over again explaining what they need to do.
And they still don't.
Unfortunately, yeah, yeah.
They still
Unfortunately, if
don't.
you're not going to change your diet and you're not going to start exercising and you're not going to do all the other things we keep listing that you need to do for your health, you're going to need a powerful product. And there are very few out there. And I would say New Species is the best. And Aston's advice only goes so far unless you're going to take New Species formulas. So I've told them, like, just remind your family, like, sorry, my help goes as far as my products. And then if you're not going to take the products, there's all my words can only be so helpful. So that's I know you have tried. You have tried really, really hard.
And I'm still trying.
And he doesn't give up.
Even this past week, I'm on the phone with them, talking with them. I'm still trying. So I'll never give up.
So Trevor, we understand.
And you should never give up on your loved ones, on your friends, on your neighbors, on your community. You should never give up on them because just like my family, I know, like Jillian said, they don't know better. They only know when the doctors say you're going to die in months, you're going to die in a year. That's when they open their eyes. And for those, they're dead. I buried one last year, two of them this year, two this year.
Yeah.
So I say no more on that subject.
And what I will also say, just to wrap up the medication side effects and stuff like that, is the reason why you never want to wait for the medication to stop working before you do something with NuSpecies is because by the time that happens, if you're lucky and you're someone who gets many years out of medication without too many side effects, and you can kind of look away and live your life like you don't have a health problem, by the time it stops working, your body is probably broken down so far that there may not be a whole lot NuSpecies can do. Maybe
Right.
we can help, maybe we can't. So it's better to include NuSpecies as part of your healthcare from the start, ideally before you ever develop a health issue. But if you already have, don't wait until the medical care has hit its limits before you then ask a NuSpecies to step in and do better, right? You need us both and you need it as soon as possible.
Exactly. And Trevor, my condolences and my condolences to all of you out there who have lost relatives. But I implore you to keep fighting them, really wrestle with them and try to get them, find ways to get them to get help, because you're all going to go to the funerals and you're all going to wonder when you stand there like I do, did I do enough? Should I have gotten a sledgehammer and beat them over the head? Maybe I should. Maybe I should have. But don't give up, because it's really hard to live naturally and to live the right way. It's not easy.
Whole
And it,
world New Humans Built
uh,
is literally anti our own health and wellness.
right. And it's not easy to not trust the medication until you get to the end and it's not working and you have nowhere to go, but you know where. It's not easy to look away from the doctors. And now we're not saying you should, as
Right.
Jillian said, do both.
Yeah.
So you
Don't expect them to
have,
think of everything and know everything. You are here so you know better.
right, do both, or you have a chance. Give yourself a chance. Give your body a chance. One doesn't work, the other might work, or both of them work, and you live better and you live longer.
Yeah.
And that is my mantra: live better, live longer, and you do it whatever you can.
Yeah.
But don't do, as I would say, incorrect English, don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's never better. Hi, Larna. How soon before a colonoscopy should one stop taking the supplements? A day before, 2 days.
Probably, I mean, it's food.
Yeah, you don't really have to. I mean,
So the
there's no
doctors say
risk.
don't eat the day before, then don't eat the day before. Don't take
Yeah,
NuSpecies
right.
either. NuSpecies is food. As we said, everything we have is actually truly whole food.
Yeah. If
Yep.
you are using the detox and you're concerned about the chlorophyll staining your colon, which is healthy, normal and healthy and not a problem, but if they're hoping to identify polyps or see more and they think that shadow could be an issue and you're going to go through all that work for the colonoscopy only for them to say they can't see, maybe you want to stop taking the detox, I don't know, like a week before or something.
Yeah.
I don't, we don't look inside people's colons, so we can't say for sure how long it might take if that stain has formed or how long it will take for it to fade. But you may want to just continue the detox a bit sooner if you think that might be an issue.
But the stain is completely harmless. Just so you know that
just the chlorophyll,
it's 100% harmless.
like a cow. Their insides are stained green.
You mean the intestines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. From all the if they're eating grass, if they're eating corn feed in a factory farm, that's a whole different story.
Right.
We will not get into that.
Don't.
Oh gosh. Well, thank you. You're welcome, Larna. Thank you so much for all of you being here. Please subscribe before you go. We will be here next Saturday at 10 a.m. as we are most Saturdays at 10 a.m. And we will be excited to talk to you then. If you want to submit questions in advance, you can just download the NuSpecies app, and right on the homepage, you'll see a button you could press to fill out a little form that will send us your question in advance. Sometimes we'll just call you if we think it's something you need to know right away. Otherwise, we will bring it up first thing on the show in the following week. And don't miss your discount, 15% off of everything this weekend. Holiday 15 is your code. It's repeated on the website, so don't worry about remembering it. And get your holiday gifts of health. We think the B vitamins, or also known as the multivitamin, is your best gift for family and friends because it tastes the best out of all of our formulas, and it is a 3-month supply. And with 15% off, it's only $46 or $46.33 or something. So it's a really affordable gift, and it's a really powerful gift that will serve your loved one for months to come, and may actually turn them on to starting new species themselves.
Mhm. And never give up on your loved ones. Don't give up on your loved ones. Keep wrestling with them and try to get them to do what's best for them. They may truly not know, even if they have PhDs. We have doctors who are our clients, medical doctors, scientists, engineers. They're our clients. So
Recently, I
they
was
just don't know. A PhD doesn't mean you know something about health. Even if you're a medical doctor, there's still a lot you don't know about health, especially when it comes to natural health. They don't study that in medical school. So don't give up on your relatives and don't think that because they're educated or they're not educated, they don't deserve your support or the knowledge you have or what you have learned or you have taken new species that those of you have taken it and it works for you. Tell them, tell them,
Mm.
because I think that's the gift that God has given you to walk away from new species is that share the benefits you've gotten from new species with your loved ones.
Yeah. My advice recently to a family member was, okay, so you don't really want to change how you eat, or you don't want to give up certain foods altogether, especially with the holidays coming and there's certain once a year type things that you really want to eat. Well, every time you eat one of those things, you have to take a shot of new species formula. And that'll be, if in your case it's a punishment because you don't like how it tastes, that's your punishment. But at least you're doing something to counteract the bad choice, and it's bringing light to the fact that you're not justifying this is, you know, that this is a bad choice, but you're doing it with joy and excitement because you really do want to taste that thing you made. Well, then you got to give your body something to work with. You can't just feed it the junk and walk away, right? So maybe that's where you start with a resistant family member.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here this week. We look forward to seeing you next week. Join our text and email list on our homepage if you want to get reminders. Otherwise, subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell, and then YouTube will just notify you whenever we are live, which for right now is every Saturday at 10 a.m.